Well, hello and welcome. This is my first video post Hurricane Milton. So, let's be thankful that I still have a piano here. Our house didn't get any water damage. We got a lot of branches down, things outside, and things to clean up, but that's sort of minor considering what happened elsewhere and to other people. So I'm very fortunate. Anyway, this video is a really fun video on a composer you might not have heard of. His name is John Dowland. And John Dowland was, if you know your music history, John Dowland is most famous for his songs and I think some choir works, but most famous for his lute works. He's probably the most prolific and greatest lute composer. And I was recently, let me tell you about this project I'm working on. First of all, you can view these videos that I'm making of John Dowland's music arranged for solo piano. I don't have the sheet music quite yet, so just have a little patience. And I plan to put a copy of each one on the bottom of each video. Okay, and then eventually I'm going to get a whole bunch of them, I don't know, maybe about a dozen or so, and compile them into a book of John Dowland selected works arranged for piano. I don't think there is such a thing. I don't know. There might be piano arrangements already of John Dowland's music. I don't know. But I decided I wanted to do this. And what gave me this inspiration was I was listening to, let me get my coffee here. I was listening to an interview with Paul Odette. Paul Odette, if you know the classical music scene, is probably the world's leading proponent of John Dowland's music. He's recorded, I think, his complete works, and I listen to his CDs a lot. Sometimes when I study, it's great, like early morning music, great studying music. Is John Dowland's works for lute, played by Paul Odette. By the way, Paul Odette teaches at the Eastman School of Music, which is one of my alma maters. That's where I did my master's degree. And I was listening to this very fascinating talk with Paul Odette on a recent interview, and God, I got to thinking, he just was really making me think Dowland was really great. I didn't realize how great he was, I mean, as a composer. So I thought, well, these will make great piano pieces. So I just went to IMSLP, just went through, just found about a dozen pieces I thought would work well for piano. I've transcribed 5 already for solo piano, and this is my 5th one right here. So basically I just get the guitar arrangement, or the guitar tablature, whatever you want to call it. And you just get the guitar arrangement and you make a piano arrangement out of it. Actually, that would be a good assignment. If you're a pianist and you're interested in composition or arranging, this is a perfect opportunity for you to practice your skills as an arranger. Okay, what you do is you go to John Dowland's music, you just select, I don't know, you may just have to go through them and look at them, but it should be, find a guitar arrangement. Usually they have the treble clef sign, and they have all the guitar parts here on the treble clef. And sometimes they have these weird little sort of tablature things up here too. I think that's the original up here. But print this out, print one of these out, and then see if you can play it on the piano. And of course, if you play it literally on the piano, it's just going to be, it's going to be just in one place. It's going to be very, it's going to be very limited with its range. So what you want to do in your arrangement is open up the range, like this one, for instance, that I'm working on. In one of the repeats, it has like 3 short repeats. I like to play the first strain as written, exactly as written here, and then the second strain, both hands an octave lower. So you can take advantage of this part, this very beautiful range of the piano. Probably the most beautiful tone that the piano produces is in that range right there. So listen to this. This one I don't have written out yet. I'm just playing from the guitar notation here. But listen to how beautiful this melody is by John Dowland. Now I'm going to repeat it an octave lower. Goes back up and it has another little strain of something else. And that repeats. I'm going to repeat it an octave lower. The third strain, something different. Really nice. Now I'm going to repeat it an octave lower. Delightful little piece, just delight. It's like, just gonna have your tea and crumpets. I don't know, this is just delightful music. I love this music. It's so fun to play, and it's not very difficult either, really, it's not. Let me play you another beautiful John Dowland piece here. This is, let me pick another one because I do that same technique, and here I do the first strain here, the second, when it repeats I go down lower. So let me do something else here. I'm going to play the Robin Gallard. This is actually a pretty well-known piece, one of Dowland's better known pieces. There's many recordings on lute and guitar on YouTube of this one. Beautiful piece, great, makes a great piano piece too. So listen to this, Robin Gallard. Those little twists like that. You don't really expect that. Robin Gallard. What is a Gallard? Well, a Gallard was a dance, and but that's all. We can just say it's a dance. It's not. He has there are various tempos, various moods. So we're not looking at any, rigid format for any of these. I base my tempo on the character of the music. The Robin Gallard, for example. I don't think it would sound really great played a whole lot faster or a whole lot slower. So I base my tempo on that. Also, most lutenists tend to play it around that speed, perhaps a little slower. Now let me play you a really, really beautiful piece here. This is called Mr. Dowland's Midnight. He had these titles. I think these titles are very imaginative. I don't know what he was thinking here. Perhaps it was late at night and he was putting himself to sleep or something. So this is Mr. Dowland's Midnight. It's in the key of A minor. And what I've done with this one is what you hear in the beginning is the original lute. So it's exactly taken verbatim off the guitar or lute sheet from my MSLP. And then when I get down to the bottom, I arpeggiate some chords. Those arpeggiations are my own. Those aren't from Dowland. So I spruce it up with that. Then I go to a second verse, and then I repeat the whole process, but I put in arpeggiated chords, some syncopations in the left hand, and some really beautiful thick writing. It sounds very Brahmsian. So the writing here, if you know Brahms piano music, very thick and rich. I love this one a lot. So this is called Mr. Dowland's Midnight. Then it goes into the second verse here. Chord. Dowland didn't do that, but I like that. I like the first time I go, and the second time I go, ooh, kind of raises the mood a little bit there. That's really beautiful. This is probably one of my favorites so far. And then we have Mistress Winter's Jump. So I could just see this as being somewhat of a training piece for jumping doing little jumping exercises and for a dance, for perhaps a Gallard. So here's Mistress Winter's Jump. It's a very short piece, a miniature, but it's just a miniature perfection. It's perfect. So listen to this here. It works great on piano. I messed that up. And that ending is mine. That's not Dowland. So everything is Dowland. The reason I messed that up was because originally I had a couple of them an octave lower, and then I just recently changed them to an octave higher, so it kind of threw me off. I'm gonna change that. Anyway, I like the ending because after all this loud, after this loudness here, it just kind of floats away, and there's this very small or a very calculated sort of ritardando, I think, that happens at the end, that slowing down. And I think there is one more I'd like to show you that I've done so far, and that is, the Frog Gallard, like a frog, the ribbit, the one that jumps around. I don't know, frog. It doesn't sound like frogs. I play this, I see frog in the title, and I think, it doesn't sound like frogs. So I think it might be a deceiving title for a lot of people because they see Frog Gallard, and they don't want to click on it. But if it said something attractive, something with nature or something like that, then it might be a more popular piece. So I don't know. I think we should retitle these with romantic titles or something. So this is the Frog Gallard, and it's from the Matthew Holmes Lute book. I do the same technique here. I do first through here, and then in the repeat, I do it an octave lower. So thank you for joining me today in this interesting presentation of John Dowland's lute music arranged for solo piano. If you're interested in this project, and if you are a pianist and are interested in maybe arranging or composing, like I said before, it's a great opportunity for you to practice your arranging and composing skills by simply going to IMSLP, John Dowland on IMSLP, and look at his works, print out some of his lute works, notated for lute or guitar, and then see what you can do with them on the piano. It's really not that hard. These actually came very naturally for me. These arrangements came very quickly for me. I didn't have to force them or anything. I think one reason is because Dowland was such a great composer and such a great composer of great melodies, that I think that that's where our interest goes when we hear his music. So good luck, and with this project, if you want to do such a project with me and see what you can do with John Dowland's music arranged for solo piano. But in the meantime, I will work on mine, and I'll have a book pretty soon in the coming months of John Dowland's music for solo piano. So look out for that, and I'll see you in the next video.